Here's a brief but annoying message to let you know that you could have first heard this episode 9 months ago if you were a subscriber to our Iron Filing Society Patreon offering.
For the price of a pint and a St Clement's each month, you can get up to 4 episodes a week, 9 months before the rest of the world gets them. Early access to regular episodes, lots of other marvellous benefits, and there's absolutely no adverts or brief but annoying messages like this that will get right on your ticks.
Find out more and subscribe now at tftimemachine.com/ironfilings.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, this is it!
This is Top Flight Time Machine. I am Andy Hotbody Dawson. Pow, pow, pow.
I'm Sam Nifty Delaney, so what? Can I just tell you something before we get started?
I was just about to play some music there. Yeah, go on.
Oh, okay, cool. Basically, you know, sometimes you start an episode by saying, I've just had a perfect cup of tea, right?
Yeah.
And I always am very envious. And occasionally, like I've had a good run this week. I've had about 2 or 3 instances of what I would class as close to a perfect cup of tea. Very hard to define, very hard to even explain. It just is what it is. I come to you today having just finished drinking an unsatisfactory cup of tea.
Oh.
Yeah.
No way.
Most teas, the majority of teas are just fine, right? Mm-hmm. These are teas at home. Most teas you have out are like unsatisfactory. That's why I tend to not have many cups of tea out unless I'm at very small select either homes or like outlets that I know do tea that I find to be satisfactory.
Otherwise you need to control the conditions yourself.
I need to control the tea, right? Yeah. So there's certain people's houses, about 1 or 2 houses where I'd accept a cup of tea, and there's basically one cafe where I will order tea, which is a cafe near my mum's Greasy Spoon, opposite what used to be the Beaver, which I've told you about before, which was the Milkman's Caff, right? Yeah. This was actually rival to the Beaver back in the day. But now it's like the only remaining Greasy Spoon.
It's trumped the Beaver, is it?
Well, the Beaver's no more. Went years ago. Went years ago. Yeah. But yeah, probably the Ritz triumphed because of its superior tea. And there's one Greasy Spoon I'll go to. I'll order a cup of tea with no qualms whatsoever. I know it's going to come and it's going to be fucking close to perfect. Right.
And let's be honest, if one-off customers are walking past and they go, shall we go to the Ritz or shall we go to the Beaver? They're going to go to the Ritz, aren't they?
Yeah. No, but I mean, I don't think the Beaver's been... I think the Beaver was gone before John Major came to power, if I'm honest.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. But the Ritz has been there going back from the early 80s. I mean, it's got staying power. Most Greasy Spoons in London, the traditional Greasy Spoons, which tended to have a Pepsi sign on the door... there's hardly fucking any of them left. There used to be one on every street. There's hardly any left now. It's all fucking chicken shops, isn't it? But this one's still going. It's got to be the tea. But at home, most of my tea, decent. Very occasionally, fucking spot on, right? Could be made by my son. Could be made by my wife. Could be made by me. My daughter doesn't often make tea for me, to be honest, right? And I had a few good ones. Today, I've made myself a cup of tea. Poor. Like, so poor that I'm commenting upon it. It's actually made me...
Do you know what went wrong?
It's Bank Holiday Monday, and I've got quite a good day planned, but this has really got the day... I mean, I feel gutted about it. I tell you what went wrong. The main problem is, one is I had it brewing in the pot and I forgot about it, which meant... that it was just a touch too long in the pot, which meant it not stewed fully, but slight bitterness, and also the temperature wasn't optimal. It was hot, but it wasn't the exact temperature I like. But bigger than either of those factors is that, I don't know about you, and tea's all personal taste, so I'm not here to tell you or anyone else that the way I like tea is the way that tea should be done. But I only like skimmed milk in tea. Reason? I don't like the taste of the milk. But I do like something to take the edge off the tannin in the tea, right? So I have it quite strong with a dash of skimmed milk. For me, if I have semi-skimmed in it, it tastes a bit like someone's fucking put a load of like cream in it.
Pig spunk.
Yeah, honestly. But this morning, there wasn't any skimmed milk left, so I thought I'll just put a little splash of semi-skimmed, it'll be fine. And it wasn't fine. My tea tastes spunky.
Piggy and spunky.
It tastes piggy and spunky, and that's the last thing you need on May Day Bank Holiday, which is one of the best days of the year, usually, isn't it? May Day Bank Holiday.
It is, yeah. I mean, the sun's even come out here. We haven't had hardly any sunshine for like a week. Everywhere else in the country where I've been over the last week, i.e. Sheffield and London, have had lovely weather.
Yeah.
And here, it's just been grim.
Has it?
As in, it's grim up north, but today the sun's come out, so...
Yeah, the sun's starting to
special.
peek through now for me. I've been out to walk the dog already. Do you know what I've got really into at the moment? I'm so into it, it's unbelievable.
Go on.
Birdsong. I fucking love it, mate. Like, since spring hit, the birds are out singing, and if I get out early before there's even much traffic around, it's not very trafficy, my little spot area, and I walk around the park, and when I first got a dog, I thought to myself, I'll be listening to like music or podcasts a lot on dog walks, because a lot of our correspondents in the cancer community, they get in touch and say, I'll listen to the podcast on the dog walk, and I think that's nice. But after the first couple of times, I realised, no, it's much nicer to not have anything in your ears. It's much nicer to listen to nature around you.
Yeah,
and the birds were out singing this morning. Honestly, best start to the day. Birdsong, and you know, and it's still fresh at the moment because they don't really do it. They don't go in for it much in the winter months, do they? The old birds.
Well, they all fuck off, don't they?
Yeah,
fuck
they're
off
not.
on holiday.
Now they're all back, and they're literally all giving it. All right, cunts, remember us?
Yeah.
That's right. It's the bird community. Yeah. We're back. Have a listen to this. Cheep, 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 cheep. Yeah, you love that, don't you? You simple-minded human cunts. Yeah, and I'm like, I fucking do love it. Yeah, sir, still walking about on your feet, unable to fly, are you? You soppy cunt.
Still going around 2D on flat surfaces, are you? No up and down, unless you use them stairs. Pathetic.
Still need a massive, really expensive, polluting fucking metal ship to get into the air with, do you? That costs you fucking 250 quid even if you're just popping over to fucking France. What a fucking joke. I can fly to France for free with zero impact on the environment in about an hour.
I've just come back from fucking Sri Lanka. I wintered there.
Do you know how much it cost me? You know how much it cost me? Fuck all. I ate worms free. Yeah, they got worms out in Sri Lanka. Yeah, why wouldn't they, you racist cunt? Of course they got fucking worms. I eat the worms. I sit in their trees. The accommodation's free. There's no fucking Sri Lankan birds coming asking me for money to sit in their tree. They're fine about it. They don't mind at all. And it's free.
Off a bit.
Where are you going on that? Oh, Portugal. Package deal, was it? How much you pay for that? How much? What? For a family of 4? Fucking hell. Do you know how much I could take my whole family with me if I wanted? Although, to be honest, birds don't really function like that. We have kids, but we don't fucking feel the need to like hang around with them forever.
We tell them to fuck off as soon as they can fly.
Yeah. But if I did want to take my fucking my little birdlings, right, my chicks with me, family of 4, Portugal, you say? So that's not even long haul. That's short haul. Family of 4, 2 weeks in Portugal. Even in peak season, let's see, that's flights, accommodation, food, yeah. Oh, yeah, I've worked it out. Nothing. Absolutely fucking free, you cunt. Next question.
Yeah, I'm constantly fascinated by the birds, as in who controls them. I just love that they're just going about there, just doing their bird business.
What's
and
their
no one's
agenda?
in charge. It's brilliant.
And how
Brilliant.
they
Wild
know when
animals.
to fuck off. They're like, a bit chilly, innit? But the thing is as well, say it's like July, but you know sometimes in July it's still like, it'll be like hailing and you'll be like, what the fuck is wrong with this country? Fucking Tories. That's what I think. I just think
in Portugal.
when it starts fucking hailing in the middle of July, I just think, these fucking Tories, whatever next, right? And but why don't the birds just think, fuck it, let's go now? How do they know? Someone's going, no, hang on a minute, lads. We must adhere to the human-created Christian calendar. See what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they do. They conform to the Christian calendar.
Well, they conform to the seasons and the weathers and the climates and all
yeah,
that,
but
don't
what
they?
I'm saying is you might have a whole week of it.
We've built our calendar around that.
No, but listen, look at Wimbledon fortnight. How many Wimbledon fortnights have you seen where it's bucketed down for all 14 days of Wimbledon fortnight? Right? That's happened.
Yeah.
There was a run of those for a while in the noughties. Every fucking Wimbledon fortnight. Wimbledon was still going on in August sometimes, right? What I'm saying is, why don't the birds think at that point, well, that's it. Summer's over, time for us to fuck off. Why? How do they know? How do they know?
I don't know.
They're taking their signals from the weather.
I don't know. But Wimbledon fortnight's always the worst time for hay fever sufferers. It's generally peak hay fever. So what came first, hay fever or Wimbledon? And who built what around who? God?
Yeah. Wimbledon fortnight. I will release the pollen. I shall release and unleash the pollen on the fortnight that shall be known as Wimbledon fortnight. And there shall be a tournament of tennis, which is a sport I have just invented in my nut.
Because I am God.
There shall be mad Americans. There shall be some people from Australia who are good at it. Sometimes the French will be good.
The East Europeans will be good for a while as well when they are drugging their players and forcing them to train in sports camps.
And in the 80s, there shall be a man from Czechoslovakia called Ivan Lendl, and he will repeatedly lose the final of Wimbledon.
And he will look a bit like a zombie.
And so I will make it thus.
Yeah, I don't know. Nature's weird, isn't it? But you always watch Attenborough documentaries and the animals do stuff that are incredible. And we don't know why they do them. Who teaches them to do stuff?
My
they've
son
got
said
certain ways of like finding food or breeding and things like that. And
yeah, well, a lot of it's just their ancestors learnt the lessons, didn't they, by making mistakes, and then slowly over time,
communicate,
and it just passes on. No, it just passes on in their DNA. That's the weird thing about evolution.
In the DNA, fucking hell.
Is it that evolution is fucking wild, and it's the same with humans, mate. You know, like inherited trauma. That's a real thing, mate. Like,
is it?
Yeah, it's a real fucking thing. Think of it, right? You don't think it's weird if a dog, like a particular dog, like might shit itself at the sound of a car, right? But from puppydom onwards, you think, why is that weird? And like, or let's say a dog is like freaks out when it sees a particular other breed of dog, and it's because it's over the years, right? It's happened. Same with humans. Why would it be different from humans, right? If great uncle Dawson or your great great grandfather, right? And
we'll call him Great Uncle Augustus Dawson.
Augustus Dawson, right? Say you look back in the archives and it turns out that he had a lot of problem with pigeons, and you found yourself very often finding yourself nervous around pigeons in the street.
Okay.
That'll be inherited trauma.
From Augustus. Wow. Didn't know that. I always thought nature. Well, that's nature, isn't it? Nature versus nurture. I always thought with humans a lot of stuff's nurture, but I guess
it's half and half.
I think it's a bit of nature as well.
It's half and half. You know, it works the same for humans as it does for animals. You've got some things that you're just born with, man, that you're going to...
Yeah. We're here to talk about animals, aren't we?
We are, yeah. Budgerigars, more specifically.
Let's get back to it.
Certainly part of the bird family.
I'll go play the music now. There we are. There's not a more budgerigar sounding piece of music around, I don't think. It just evokes...
That's the
Budgies.
sound that in my head is playing when I walk down the street in the morning taking the dog for a walk.
Yeah, I bet. So we had Philip Marsden, who's the budgie expert on this. We haven't got to Sid James yet, and he tells us that This is the World of Budgies with Sid James, in case you're not following it on YouTube. Just search those words. The World of Budgies, 1976, stars Sid James.
Jalapeño. Jalapeño.
Philip Marsden is the expert, and the other name for budgies is undulated grass parakeets. And who knew? They're the smallest members of the parrot family. They're Australia-based. They're almost all green. But 100 years ago, the whole world of budgies was transformed. John Gould, the naturalist, who, when we see a drawing of him, because this is 1840, he was around pre-photography. We see a drawing of John Gould that he sat and posed for, which in itself is that thing is a deep dive itself, I think. He looks a bit like me. Have you seen him?
What's his name?
I think he does anyway. John Gould. John Gould, naturalist. Well, he does at least on this drawing. I think there might be others.
Images. Yeah, he does look a little bit like you. Maybe that's how I was picturing great Uncle Augustus Dawson when we were talking about him moments ago.
Fucking hell, yeah. That's him. So that John Gould was great Uncle Augustus. And what happened was, in 1840, John Gould brought home a pair of budgies from Australia. I'm having these. I'm taking these up. We haven't got these back home. So I'm going to put a couple in my jacket and I'll take them home and, see what happens. I'll get a boy and a girl because I'll be a bit like Noah and I can breed them like he did.
Make them have it
after the flood. I'll watch them having it off. But just because...
For scientific reasons,
but
I'll try and draw it if I can keep up. It depends how quick they are. Maybe the male one is a 2-pump pirate and it'll all be over before it's even started. Maybe he's inexperienced sexually and he'll get overexcited too quick.
Maybe I'll need to play some music. I'll get some chamber music on. I'll give him
a few tips. Slow yourself down by thinking of your nan or something like that.
Think of a crop rotation machine, something like that, something agricultural.
Who do you follow? Who do you follow? No, what football team do you follow? Fulham. All right, so let's think. What was Fulham's greatest achievement? Okay, so when Fulham got to the final of the Europa League, when Hodgson was the manager, I bet you can remember the first 11, can't you? Yeah? So, go through it in your head. Yeah? Go through it.
Very slowly
in your head while you're pumping. Yeah? And it'll distract your mind sufficiently. You try to remember. Goalie, I think it was Van der Sar. Right back, left back, go through the side. If you're still going, just start thinking of Roy Hodgson's face. That's going to slow you down. And slow down the pumping. Yeah? Not so slow that you go on the soft, right? That's the balance you got to try to achieve.
Make sure you stay in. Don't come out.
Don't come out completely, because then, the old fucking endeavour's pointless. It's over.
Oh, God. So John Gould, the naturalist, great Uncle Augustus, he wanted to draw them, he said. But then, incredible, when they started breeding in the UK, having been almost all green in Australia, colour mutations began to happen. And they all started changing colour. Some blue.
This is the mad bit.
Some yellow.
No, he doesn't really offer an explanation for that either. Just says that's just what happened.
I don't think there is one. I don't think there is one. And now there's over 200, now 1976, could be even more now. There's over 200 colours or combinations of colour in budgies in the UK, which blew my mind. And then what blows my mind even further is the emergence of Sid. And Sid is... did we get this far? Because Sid was... We were talking about landladies, weren't we, last week? So Sid's sitting in his... I'm just going to play the bit. His landlady comes in with a pot of tea. Sid's been watching this Philip Marsden thing on the telly. He's got the newspaper. He's on the sofa. He's smoking his pipe.
In his lodgings.
He's just doing some classic Sidding.
In his lodgings.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I ain't
you
got
do
home.
some-
Where do you live, Sid? You must have a few quid. Oh, I don't. No, I live in lodgings. Well, you don't have
I
your
lodge
own
around.
place. No. But why? You've been doing the Carry On films. You did Hancock. You were in all them Ealing comedies. You must have a few quid, Sasha. Yeah, I've got money. I'm not mug enough to spend it on a house. If you spend money on a house, right? First you got to get the house. You got to pay your stamp duty, right? I mean, maybe depending on where I buy, I could. Yeah, I mean, I probably could go mortgage free. I'm not going to lie, I probably could, but still got my stamp duty. Then you got house insurance, potential renovations, and the thing about houses is one headache after another. You move in, you think, oh yeah, I'm all settled. Within weeks, there's something up. Whether it's dry rot, whether it's some tiles loose on the roof,
Not weed.
whether it's the gutter, the pointing. Don't forget that the pointing can cause you all sorts of problems, right? There's always something. It's expense and it's hassle. Plus, as well, I live on my own, right? Because you know me, I've always got a few different Dorises on the go, yeah? Whether that be
Chief amongst the bee, Barbara Windsor.
but
at the
Barbara
moment.
Windsor, of course. But, you know, Joan Sims, I keep handing with her, although God knows she's a moaner. Right? June Whitfield. Not a lot of people know that, but I've been having a little thing with her here and there.
Atty Jakes.
Atty Jakes, when I want
Obviously.
something a little bit unusual. And I've just started something that I've been working on for a while with Alma out of Coronation Street. AKA Cleopatra.
Cleopatra. Whoa.
So you see, there's no point I live on my own, and what that means is there's a lot of cooking and cleaning. So I just get lodgings. I pay a small amount of monthly housekeep direct to the landlady, who I am usually having it off with too, and she sorts out my breakfast and dinner. All I have to take care of is my lunch. And if I sit in the television room watching my bird documentaries in the evening, she'll bring me snacks, tea, coffee, whatever I want.
I've got a network of lodgings all over the country. I've got a nice negotiated pay-as-you-go system where I only pay when I stay. Pay as you stay.
Pay as you stay. If I get bored of being in one particular area, such as Eastbourne, which is one of my preferred areas, but I might get bored of Eastbourne, so I might say, right, I'm going to go
Coventry.
and spend some time in Nuneaton in the West Midlands for a little while. Fine, I can just go there on a whim. I can wake up in the morning and think I fancy a few days in the West Midlands. Bang, I'm there on the train.
But that's what used to happen because they used to have the rep theatre network where every town had a theatre.
Yes.
And the people would have lodgings. They'd stay in Thespians' lodgings.
Yeah.
In every town and city, so that probably was feasible.
Yeah,
for Sid
and,
James.
and then, but in all honesty, once let's say he stopped doing rep because he knew he was going to be in London for at least a year shooting back-to-back carry-ons, right?
Yeah.
And he might have thought, well, maybe it's time to get a place of my own. But if you're used to the lodgings lifestyle and you're single, then why would you think, oh, I'm going to get my own place with all the expense and work that involves, where I can just live in a furnished home, no worries at all, just a small suitcase with my pipes, hats and shirts in.
Yeah.
Right? And there's just a
Wherever I
woman...
lay my hat.
I get
That's my
up
one.
every single morning I get up and there's a cooked breakfast for me. And it being them days, cooked breakfast would have come with things like kidneys as standard. Wouldn't it?
Probably gravy as well.
What do you want this morning, Sid? Do you want your kidneys or do you want a kipper? Both. Both, with an egg and all.
Oh, God. What a breakfast.
Yeah.
But and then, of course, when I'm having it off with Barbara Windsor, I'll fork out for an hotel, won't I? Special.
Somewhere
Well, I'll
nice.
get discount anyway because I'm Sid James.
Always by the coast. Because in those days, if you were having an illicit affair, because of course Babs was married to a gangster, wasn't she? And they were having it off on the sly. If you had an affair back in those days, it had to be at a hotel by the coast.
Yeah.
That was just the done thing,
And you
wasn't
check in under a different name.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, something like that.
God, those were the days.
Poor, weren't they just? I've seen the price of hotels recently. Fuck, I think I talked about this last week from when we were on tour. Jesus Christ. Anyway,
never mind
let's
that.
start.
Are you seeing the cost of fucking anything? Like, is it because of Brexit that, like, literally going to the continent costs about £1,000, like, to fucking fly anywhere, right? And
Well, I don't know the entire economic ins and outs, but it's inflation has caused the cost of everything to go up. But probably Brexit, yeah.
yeah, I mean, like, because I've been wanting to go to a football match in Spain with my lad for a while, and we really like the idea. I love train travel; it's my favourite way of getting around, and I'm obsessed with this website, which I've probably told you about, called the Passenger in Seat 61. And it's, have I told you about it? It's just this guy. He's just like he's a train nut, and he basically knows the best way to get anywhere by train in the world. Like, you type in any fucking journey and he'll go, right, this is the way, this is the cheapest way to do it, this is the quickest way to do it, but this is the most scenic way to do it, and all this, right? And I get lost in this website. It's like weird. It's like train porn. I'll just like look at journeys that I can imagine one day doing for ages. And then you go on, and it's like, I wanted to get to Madrid. Now, I've trained it down to Spain a few times in my life, and it was always the cheaper option than the plane. So the only thing was, it's going to be nicer, more scenic, more fun, and cheaper. So it's all about whether you had time. I've got the time in half term to go down to Spain by train. It is about 4 times the cost of fucking flying it, mate. And even flying it's not that cheap anymore. Yeah. Unbelievably expensive to get a train across Europe.
But then that's in Europe and that's in the EU, so...
Doesn't make any sense, yeah. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm not happy about it.
Maybe because it's half term. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't know.
Yeah, but
anyway.
Your Spaniards, they have different half terms to us anyway, don't
Do they?
I would have imagined so, yeah. You know what they're like. They all go to bed at fucking midnight, even the kiddies.
Yeah, half terms have got to be different then in that case, haven't they?
Yeah. You're talking about a people who don't eat their tea till 9 o'clock, mate. There's no way they're going to be having half terms like us with that kind of fucking approach to life.
Like the birds flying south, that's innate for them. They just do it. They don't question it. They don't tell the next generations to do it. It just happens.
Yeah. But they're just, I mean, no, we don't have half term. I saw my Italian cousin. I was thinking about him the other day, and a version of This and That he does in Italy, which he always did when we were growing up. He was my older cousin, and he was like the sort of alpha of our whole gang of cousins, right?
Right.
And if he suggested something, he'd always like have a way of coercing you into doing whatever plan he had up his sleeve. But he'd say something like, okay, so Sam, for this journey, you will be driving us from Rome all the way to France, because we cannot drive because blah blah. And I go, oh no, Ali, I don't want to do the driving. I can't do the driving that long. I'm not experienced enough. And he'd always, his way, when you told him you couldn't do something that he'd told you to do, he'd smile and laugh and put his hand on your shoulder and go, it's okay, it's not a problem. And then just change the subject. So he'd like tell you.
Jedi mind trick.
It was like a Jedi mind trick. And you'd just end up going, oh right, I thought it was a problem, but he just told me it wasn't. Like, go, okay.
But there's something in that, though.
He goes, Sam, you pay the bill now. I can't afford to pay the old bill. It's okay, it's not a problem. Oh, okay. How much is it?
I was going to say, there's something in that. There's something in that in the terms of fighting your fears and confronting stuff that you're afraid of. But then again, when you're faced with something tangible like a bill to pay, that's not something you can overcome.
That's unfair, actually. That probably would not be an example of what he would. With a bill, he wouldn't do it. But with other things, he'd always be like, or he'd be like, right, I've booked the restaurant for 10 o'clock. And you go, 10 in the evening? Yes, it's for dinner. But I'm starving now. This would be like 6, right? I'll be like, I'm fucking starving now. I want the spaghetti now, don't I? I can't wait that long. And he'd just go, don't worry, it's not a problem. But then you'd be like, well, can I have a snack while I'm waiting? And he wouldn't let you have a snack. He'd go, no, you must not open the stomach. You will enjoy the food more at 10 if you have built up a huge, a very big appetite.
Must remain closed.
That's what they say. They go, do not open the stomach. Do not open the stomach. You will not enjoy the delicious food at 10 o'clock tonight. 10 o'clock tonight? I'm going to be in my gym jams in bed by then, reading me Agatha Christie.
It's not even going to be 10 o'clock as we get there at 10. Then we sit and look at the menu.
Yeah.
He brings some fucking bread out. Do I have the stomach for the bread?
I see what the fucking Italian waiters are like. They're fucking mucking around out back having a cigarette, taking their time. It's okay. It's not a problem. All right. It's not a problem. Fine.
Fair enough. Fucking hell. We're just about to have, as I said, we're about to have Sid's landlady enter. I never thought this would take 2 episodes to get 2.5 minutes in. We'll do it next time when Sid's landlady comes in with the.
And he's not happy.
Sid is displeased, to say the least. So stick around for that, or go and watch it on YouTube now. It's up to you. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.